I say to you, did you know me? I said to you, probably not the best thing, the best color combination, but basically here's some artwork. And then I've got some things that I'm going to answer tomorrow when I make my movie. So this one is to Bush, Trump and Bill when they become one, and they're all sort of like, yeah, wicked. All the presidents are all bound together by goodness and greatness and all working together and all are like, yes, no one's going to start bagging me out, we're all going to be on each other's sides, we're all going to be for each other. So this is just a backdrop of me talking, for me to talk about. So one thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to get other people to talk about, is do you believe in aliens? If so, why? And what does my belief mean to me? Either yes or no, please expand. Do I or have I had a mental illness? If so, explain your story. What is crazy? Give my explanation. Do or does every person have a different definition, or i.e. meaning, to a word, to each word? Please explain and give your explanation. What is reality? Break it down, expand. If you could make your 10 commandments, but keep it to 5, what would they be? Then put it in order. Say something to sound profound, but first write it out, read it, rewrite it if you need to, and then expand and share. If you were a police officer, a cop, what would your mission be? What would your vision be? What would your dream be? Your personal job description, unique to your own creation of what you want to take to the table. What would you personally want to see happen while you were a police officer? If you were an intelligence agent, what would you like to add to the community? If you were the president of the USA, what are the top 10 things you would roll out, make happen? First, write it out, read it, reread it, and then explain. Out loud, that is. If you ruled the world, as in you were the top rooster under the New World Order, as in when they bring all the countries together under one world government and you were the head rooster, who do you think your enemies would be? Think about it, write it out, and explain. Do you believe in redemption? Explain why. Have you ever been wrong or terribly wrong, then realized you were not right? Well, you thought you were correct. You thought you were on T, but basically you were not correct. What makes a good leader? What makes a satisfactory leader? What makes a great leader? And what makes a shithouse leader? Do you believe one person from a small town in a slow country, or slow part of the country, as in Glenorchy or wherever, or the Bronx, could change the world? Please explain and expand. Who's the smartest person in your world? In your world. Who is the smartest person in the world in your eyes? Why? How? Tell me one or many things to support this. If you could channel for them, as in say something that they were about to say, or something that they could say, what do you think you would say in your own words that possibly they could say or make up? Do you watch the news? If so, why? Do you believe a news topic if it's got 5 to 15 snippets that go for 3 to 5 seconds that are snapshot and all mashed together from different parts of the timeline of the film? Example, 5 seconds from 3 minutes, 2 seconds from 4 minutes, 1.5 seconds from 10 minutes, and put them all together. What do you make of that? and basically it looks like a Pauline Hanson. Please explain, Neil Diamond. Please explain. Do you think it's credible? Do you actually take it on face value and believe that what interpretation they're saying is actually correct, especially when they're not from the start of the sentence, it's from halfway through, and it doesn't end at the end point where the dot point to the end of the sentence, and it's all mashed together. What do you make of it? Who is the most influential person in the world? In the world? Who is the most influential person in your physical reality? Explain and tell us why. Who are the top 4 in the who are the top 4 most powerful people in the world? Tell me why. Tell me why. And tell me why. Who are the most dangerous in the world? Who are the most scariest in the world? Who are the most badass in the world? Who is the funniest in the world? Who is the best actor? If you were to produce a movie, what would it be called? Give it a minute. What would the plot be? What would the storyline be? And what actors would you have in it? If you were given the authority to give 10 commandments for earth, in so it coming and unfolding as being true and working out, and you were to say it to the people, write it out, what it would be, and then put it in order. So you could explain what each of them means to you, why in that order, why are they so important to you. Now write down how you think it will be received by the recipients of the world, and i.e. the world leaders, whether it be positive or negative. Why to how you think it will fix the problem, and explain. If an artificial intelligence, an AI, as well as a joint team of the smartest entities in the universe as well as Earth, were to create a master plan, how not only the Earth got on with each other, but how the Earth got on with the Milky Way, how the Earth got on with the universe, but not only that, how they got on with us. So how would it be, what would it state, how would it be followed, and what do you think it would actually encompass? What is the meaning of the term word God to you? If you were God in a human form, how do you think you would think? How do you think you would act? What do you think you would preach? How would each day be? Would it be different? Would it be you blowing your own trumpet? What would your mission be? If you were God in the sky, all so powerful, next to the spaghetti monster, would you be having bolognese for dinner? No, only joking. How would your first day be in God in the sky? You could be the spaghetti monster, you could be God, you could be Buddha, you could be whoever your prophet is. You could be Allah and saying, give me a dollar, give me a dollar. Allah, 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 give me a dollar. If God was real and he or she said this statement, how would you respond? How would you take it? What would you make of it? And how would you deal with it? Statement being, if believing in me makes you greater and give greater acts of kindness, in so makes you believe in yourself, so be it. But personally, I'd rather you discover you are God, you are all God, and all you need to do is believe in yourself. But believe in yourself is to do, and do so by so doing whatever it takes, in so being a good person, understanding patience, perseverance, prayer, meditation, education, and act like you were God. If we went into World War III, how would it happen? And towards what countries? i.e., what country would strike first, and what would happen, and why would it happen, and what do you think the problems would be? How would it unfold? What would the end result be? Have a think. You can write it down, then read it to the line. Take as much time as you want. Make sure there is a point to the line, ... Tell us a joke you'd tell if you were on a stand-up comedy TV, on a global TV network, and half the world were to watch it. First off, tell me, what rating would it be? Would it be G for all? Would it be PG for 15 and over? Or would it be M, 15 plus? Or would it be R, 18 plus? What would it be? Please entertain me. Okay, you are on your deathbed after an accident, and you are fully mentally functional, and a global leader heard about it and knows of you and respects you and is in shock to the ... From this, the leader gets their own people to report and go by your side and basically talk to you, make you feel better, and say that we want you to say a quote. We want you to say either a phrase, a speech that gets put on every TV network and gets studied by every person in Earth for the end of days, through all education systems, to be listened to, most of all to be respected and understood and implemented if they can in their own lives. What would it be? Please write it down, reread, fix or rewrite. Once happy, read out. If you were a police officer, i.e. a cop, in the northern suburbs, i.e. maybe Glenorchy or the Bronx, and a rough kid sees you on his bike and skids as he nearly runs into you when you're nearly T-bones you, and he gives you a dirty look and says, "What's the colour of a 2-cent piece?" Would you use your power to wreck their day, run over their scooter or bike, search them, use humour to resolve the situation, in so making it a positive experience, or Z, use your own method, being to the line, whatever that is? Please explain what that would be. If you were a cop and you saw someone, say 18 years old, or a bunch of 18 years old people walking down the street, and they were totally off guts, not on alcohol, but on drugs, would you put on the Christmas tree lights? Or would you search them? Would you keep it and then keep it for yourself after your shift? Or act like the wisest person and say something that would stay with them for the rest of their life, in so being positive, and in so to the line helping them in a positive manner and fashion for the rest of their life, as being remembered and something useful that they just go, "Oh my God, this is great. This person made me understand more than any teacher or any of my parents have done." If you were on your deathbed, how would you go? Would you go like a rock star, in so putting Ozzy Osbourne to shame? Would you ring to speak to the Pope and see if you could basically get a prayer read to you? Would you pick up the phone or your camera and camcorder and select people a mouthful? Or to the ... Would you do touch on a topic selected or something? I can't even read that. What would you do? So if you're on your deathbed, what are you going to do? Mouth off to everyone, or are you going to basically ring the Pope and ask for a prayer? Are you going to go out like a rock star? What are you going to do? If you don't go by any of those ones, just say anything that you probably would do. If you were told using humour in confrontation diffuses the conflict in any situation to the line, would you believe that statement? Why so? How so? And how come? Expand. Tell me your life story. Keep it short, keep it sweet, but please feel free to expand. Have you had a good life? Would you say you've done more and accomplished more than any other person you have met, or anyone else that you know of, or anyone else in history? Please expand, and please explain. If someone says open to interpretation, end of quote marks, what does that mean? Expand, explain. Tell me why, tell me how, and tell me what does it mean. What would you say if the craziest person that you'd ever met and you had ever listened to, and you thought they were crazy and you turned your ears off and you stopped listening to them, but 20 years down the track you heard them on TV and you found out they were dead, but then you listened to it and go, oh my God, that what they said was correct. They were intelligent, they were ahead of their time, they were so correct, but you had your blinkers on because it didn't compute. There was no computation, there was no comprehension, and basically they had died because medication from the doctors poisoned them, and they had basically OD'd and died and fried their brains. How high is too high? What does reading between the lines actually mean to you? And that's it, guys. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you like it. Catch it out. Catch it out. Do you know how? Do you know how? For you, George. Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it, you can't see it. My devil horns. Ah, it's Marty. Get him to shut up. If only we could.